ever wanted a bag that fits your ball just right, whether it's a volleyball, soccer ball, or even a bowling ball? Well, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this very lovely bag that you can adjust to fit whatever ball you have. Welcome and welcome back to Alice's Crochet Corner. If you're new here, I'm Alice. I live in Sydney and I love sharing beginner-friendly crochet tutorials for things you'll actually use. As always, the written pattern will be on screen and there's a link to the printable PDF in the description below. Let's go through the materials and we'll get started. For this project, I'm using 2 colors of cotton yarn. It's 100% cotton and 10 ply. I like cotton because it doesn't stretch too much, which is good if your ball is heavy. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook, a stitch marker, some scissors, and a darning needle to sew in the ends and weave in the drawstring. In total, I used about 220 meters of cotton yarn, 120 meters of the pink yarn, and 100 meters of the white yarn. This may vary a bit though, depending on your yarn and tension. We will start with crocheting the base of the bag. And to start, we will create a magic ring. How I like to do mine is I hold the tail end of the yarn underneath my thumb and grab the working end of the yarn and pull it across my 2 fingers. Insert my hook underneath the first strand of yarn, grab the yarn at the back and pull. Then grab the yarn at the back again and pull through to create our magic ring. You can grab the tail end here and adjust as you need. Next we will chain 2, 1, 2, and this does not count as a stitch. And we will work 12 double crochets into the magic ring. So to do a double crochet, we wrap our yarn around our hook once, insert our hook into the magic ring, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through 2 loops, wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through the remaining 2 loops. And so that is our first double crochet. And it'll be good to grab out our stitch marker and just mark that stitch. So that is our first stitch. We're going to go ahead and do 11 more double crochets into the magic ring. So I'm going to do that with you. That is our second one. Our third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We're just going to keep going until we have a total of 12 double crochets worked into the magic ring. I have worked 12 double crochet into the magic ring, and I recommend counting to make sure that you have only 12. So this is where we have our first double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Once we are happy we have 12, we can grab the tail end of the yarn and pull tight. And that way we have closed the circle. Now we will slip stitch into the first double crochet to end this round. So I just removed my stitch marker. I'm going to insert my hook into the first double crochet. So ignoring the chain 2 at the start, as that does not count as a stitch, inserting our hook into that first double crochet, pull our yarn through and pull through again. That is the end of round 1. To work on round 2, we are going to be doing an increase in every stitch all the way around, and an increase means we're going to be doing 2 double crochet in each stitch. So to start, we will chain 2, and again this does not count as a stitch, and here we will be working an increase, so that's 2 double crochet. This is the first double crochet. Again, I recommend using a stitch marker to mark that, and then do another double crochet. We have now done 2 double crochet in that stitch, so we've done 1 increase. We are going to continue increasing around. And so again, this is another increase. And I'm just continuing on. And you can see we have done an increase in every stitch. We are going to go ahead and repeat that all the way around. I have worked an increase in every stitch, and at the end of this round we should have a total of 24 stitches. Once you are happy with the stitch count, we can remove our stitch marker. And to end round 2, we will do a slip stitch on top of that first double crochet, inserting my hook, making sure I've got both loops on my hook, grab my yarn and pull through again. And that is the end of round 2. For round 3, the pattern is going to be an increase in every other stitch. So to start, we will chain 2. We first increase in this stitch, the very first stitch. We do an increase, making sure we put our stitch marker, almost forgot. So we've done 1 double crochet in that stitch. Because we are increasing in that first stitch, we want to make sure we have 2 double crochet. As you can see here, in that next stitch we will only work 1 double crochet, and because we are increasing in every other stitch, in this next stitch we will be doing another increase. And then in the stitch after that we will do 1 double crochet, and then in the next stitch we will do another increase. And so you can see I've been increasing in every other stitch. So this little V is 1 increase, then it's 1 double crochet, 1 increase, 1 double crochet and another increase, and we'll repeat this pattern all the way around. I have worked our pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we should have a total of 36 stitches. To end this round, we are going to be doing a slip stitch on top of that first double crochet. So again, removing our stitch marker, inserting our hook right above that first double crochet, grab our yarn and pull through again. And that is the end of round 3. To start our next round, we are going to chain 2, increase in that first stitch, so again 1 double crochet, grab our stitch marker and mark that first stitch, do another double crochet as we are increasing in this first stitch. And then we will be working 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. One double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in this next stitch, and then an increase afterwards. So you can see in between 2 increases we do 1 double crochet in 2 stitches. So I'll show you again. We've just done an increase, so I'm going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then another double crochet in the stitch after that, and then an increase in the stitch after that. Right, so you can see again in between the 2 increases we have 1 double crochet in each stitch. That's 1 double crochet, then 1 double crochet in the stitch after, and then I'll do another increase, moving on to the next stitch, 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet again, and that's another increase. Now I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around. I have worked the pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we should have a total of 48 stitches. To end this round, we grab out our stitch marker and slip stitch on top of that first double crochet. So inserting our hook, grabbing our yarn, and pull through and pull through again. To start our next round, we will chain 2, and again this does not count as a stitch. And in that same stitch we will do our increase, and for this round we will be doing a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1 double crochet, moving on to the next stitch, and moving on to the next stitch again. And so you see we've done 1 double crochet in each of the 3 stitches, and we will do another increase. Afterwards again we will work 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and we work another increase, and 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we work another increase. And so you can see that in between the increases we have 1 double crochet in 3 stitches. And you know what I just realized? I forgot to mark the first stitch with our stitch marker. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay. There we go. We'll repeat the pattern and I'll meet you when we're done. I have worked the pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we should have a total of 60 stitches. When we are happy with the stitch count, again we are going to be ending this round by inserting a hook on top of that first double crochet to do our slip stitch. And there we have it. The pattern for the 6th round is again we chain 2 at the start, This does not count as a stitch. We work an increase in that same stitch using our stitch marker to mark that first stitch. When we have increased, we then work 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So this is our first stitch, our second, our third, and then our fourth. And after we have worked 1 double crochet in 4 stitches, we then do our increase. And we repeat again. We work 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and afterwards we work our increase again. And we'll do it together one more time. After our increase, we're doing 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. That's our first one. This is our second, our third, and our fourth. Then we work our increase. And that is the pattern for this round. We're going to go ahead and repeat it all the way around. I have worked the pattern all the way around, and by the end of this round we should have a total of 72 stitches. To end this round, we are going to be doing a slip stitch on top of that first double crochet. So just removing our stitch markers, our stitch marker I should say. We insert our hook right above, grab our yarn and pull through again. To start our next round, we chain 2, and this again does not count as a stitch. We work an increase in that same stitch using our stitch marker to mark that first stitch. After we have done our increase, we are working 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So this is our first, second, third, fourth, and our fifth. And right after we have done our double crochet in 5 stitches, we will go ahead and do an increase. And so you can see between the 2 increases, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet, and we are going to repeat that. So I've just done my increase. So again, I am going to do 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. And so that's 1, this will be my second, third, fourth, and then fifth. And now we will do another increase. And so that will be our pattern for this round. We do 1 double crochet in 5 stitches between the increase. And we'll repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, we should have a total of 84 stitches. And to end it, again, we are going to be doing a slip stitch on top of that first double crochet. And that is the end of this round. To start our next round, we will chain 2, and this does not count as a stitch. In that same stitch, we will do an increase, marking our first stitch with our stitch marker. And for this round, we are going to be doing 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So this is our first double crochet, this will be our second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. After we have done our 6 double crochet, we're going to go ahead and do an increase. After, again, we will work 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And after we have done our 6 double crochet, I'm going to go ahead and do another increase. And so that is the pattern for this round. In between the 2 increases, we have 1 double crochet in 6 stitches. And we will go ahead and repeat that all the way around. I have worked the pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we should have a total of 96 stitches. To end this round, we will do a slip stitch on top of that first double crochet, inserting my hook to pull through and pull through again. The diameter of our base is 21 centimeters. Because our ball is round and 3D, the base circle corresponds roughly to the widest part of the ball, which is the diameter of the ball. So a base circle that's 21 centimeters across will fit nicely if your ball's widest part is about 21 centimeters in diameter. In the description below, I will let you know how you can adjust for a bigger base if you need. When we are happy with the base of the bag, we are going to go ahead and start working on the mesh pattern of the body. To start, we are always going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. This does count as a double crochet and a chain 1 space. So that means that we skip the next stitch and we are going to work a double crochet into the stitch after. Right, so you can see that our mesh is slowly starting to form. Right after the double crochet, we chain 1. We skip the next stitch and work 1 double crochet into the stitch after. We chain 1, skip the next stitch and work a double crochet after. We chain 1, skip the next stitch and work a double crochet after. And chain 1. You can see the mesh pattern is really starting to form now. I will do it with you a few more times. So right after our chain 1, we skip the next stitch and work a double crochet into the stitch after. Chain 1, skip that next stitch and work a double crochet into the stitch after. Skip that next stitch and work a double crochet into the stitch after. Chain 1. And so there you have it, that is our mesh pattern, and we will repeat that exactly the same as what we've just done all the way around, and I'll meet you when we're done. I have worked the mesh pattern all the way around, and to end the mesh pattern, we slip stitch into the 3rd chain. So this is our first, our second and 3rd chain. So we insert our hook into that, grab our yarn and pull through again. You can see the chain 4 that we did at the start of this round looks like a double crochet and a chain 1, so the mesh pattern works very smoothly all the way around. That is the first round of the mesh body done, and you can see that it's the first round for the body of our bag, as our bag is curly to form part of the body. To work on the mesh pattern again, we chain 4 to start. We skip that next chain and work a double crochet right above the one from the prior round. Chain 1, skip that next chain from the last round, and again working a double crochet right above the one from the prior round. And so the mesh pattern is exactly the same as what we have just done, and we can use what we did in the last round as a guide. Okay, chain 1, and we'll just keep going. And you can see right now how the mesh pattern sits right above the one from the prior round really nicely. And so we will keep repeating that mesh pattern all the way around. I have worked the second round of the mesh pattern all the way around, and again to end the mesh pattern we do a slip stitch into that 3rd chain. So this is our first, second and 3rd chain. Insert our hook into that chain, grab our yarn and pull through again. We have now done 2 rounds of the mesh pattern, and using the same color we are going to go ahead and do this 2 more times. I want to show you one more time on how we can do the mesh pattern. So again we chain 4 to start. This counts as a stitch and a chain 1 space, so we go ahead and do a double crochet into that next stitch, chain 1, and then a double crochet right above again, chain 1, skip that next stitch and a double crochet right above, chain 1, skip a stitch and then a double crochet right above. And so you can see with our mesh pattern that all the double crochets are sitting directly right above the ones from the prior round, creating this really nice mesh look. And I am going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you here again to show you how to end the mesh pattern. I have worked the mesh pattern all the way around, and again to end this round we are going to do a slip stitch into that 3rd chain. So this is our first, second and 3rd chain, grabbing our yarn and pulling through again. We had now worked the mesh pattern all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and do exactly what I've done in the last 3 rounds and work one more round of the mesh pattern using this color. I'll meet you when we're close to finishing so I can show you how to transition another color if you like. I have worked the mesh pattern all the way around, and to end the 4th round of our mesh pattern, we're going to introduce our second color if that is what you'd like to do. So first, we're going to again insert our hook into that 3rd chain, but before we will be slip stitching with the original color, but now we are going to bring in the new color and pull through and pull through. Again, you just need to pull it a bit tight, like so. Now we are going to grab out a pair of scissors and take out the pink yarn and give it a little chop, and I'm going to tie a knot. Like so. And you can see how it's a much more seamless way of joining. We are going to weave in these tail ends later because we are now going to be working with the new color. From here on, we are going to continue the mesh pattern as usual, but we're using the new color yarn now. So I'm going to chain 4 to start and continuing on with our mesh pattern. And so from here on, the pattern's going to be exactly the same. With our mesh, we're going to keep going all the way around, and we'll end this round by doing a slip stitch into that 3rd chain. I'm going to show you how we're going to do it with this new color. It is going to be exactly the same, but I'll do it with you one more time. I have worked the mesh pattern all the way around with the new color, and to end this round we are going to do a slip stitch into that 3rd chain again. So that's our 1st, 2nd and 3rd chain. Inserting our hook, pulling through and pull through again. And just to give you an idea on how it's looking at the moment, this is how the bag is wrapping around the ball. Sorry, the ball's a bit dirty because it's an outside volleyball. But so we're going to go ahead and repeat exactly what we have done with the mesh pattern until it wraps around the ball. So I've gone ahead and done 15 rounds of the mesh pattern from round 9 to round 23. Next we are going to be adding a round of single crochet around the body of our bag. I'm going to show you how to do it. We'll start by chaining 1, and again this does not count as a stitch, and in that same stitch we will work a single crochet. To work a single crochet, we insert our hook into that stitch, grab our yarn to pull up a loop, and wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through 2 loops, and that is a single crochet. We're going to use our stitch marker to mark that 1st stitch. As we move on with our single crochet, you can see that we could do it inside these chains. However, I find it quite hard to single crochet into it. So what I like to do with mesh is I single crochet around it. So I'll show you what I mean. We insert our hook through that mesh, grab our yarn and pull up a loop, and wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through. So instead of single crocheting into that chain 1 space, we're just single crocheting around it. Once we reach above the double crochet from the last round, we just continue like normal. And then when we reach the next chain 1 space, again we single crochet around it. crochet here, and then we reach the chain one space and we single crochet around it. And we'll just do it together a few more times. And so you can see the single crochet that we are doing along the top of the bag creates this nice finish. And so we're going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you when we're done. I have worked the single crochet all the way around, and to end this round we are going to do a slip stitch on top of that first single crochet. So we remove that stitch marker, insert our hook and pull through and pull through again. Next we are going to be working on the bag straps, and you can see right now I have laid the bag nice and flat. This is where we last did our slip stitch, so the bag strap is going to start from there, and we want to attach it to the opposite side of the bag. So as we lay the bag flat, it's quite easy to see that the opposite side will be right along the edge here. So I'm just going to add the stitch marker right above, like this. When you put your stitch marker here, you want to make sure it's just right above the double crochet stitch, similar to how it looks on this side, right? Picking up where we left off, we are going to chain the length for our bag strap. So this is entirely up to you on whether or not you want your bag to be a crossbody bag or if you want it to be a shoulder length bag. It's entirely customizable, so we are going to chain the length that works for us. So for me, I am going to be chaining 115. So again, to do a chain, we wrap our yarn around our hook and pull through. That's one chain. I'm going to go ahead and do a total of 115. I have finished chaining the bag strap, and we're looking at 80 centimeters in length. If you need a longer strap or a shorter strap, feel free to adjust your chains as you need. We will now slip stitch our strap onto where we have marked the opposite side of the bag to attach. What we want to do is make sure that the strap is nice and flat. So what I like to do is just run my fingers through it, making sure that it's nice and flat, like so. And I'm going to insert my hook into where we've marked our bag, grab our yarn and pull through again to attach. And now I'm going to chain one, leave a decent bit of yarn left and cut it. And then I'm going to wave it through like this, okay? Now we're going to remove our stitch marker and grab our pink yarn, because we are going to be creating a border on the bag straps to create a thicker bag strap. And we're going to insert our hook, 3 single crochets before the bag strap starts so that it will be nice and tight. So inserting my hook into that 3rd single crochet and pulling up a loop, chaining one as that does not count as a stitch, and then inside that hook, same stitch, we're going to work a single crochet like so. We can use our stitch marker to mark that, and then I'm just going to hold the pink yarn and continue with my single crochet you can see we've got 3 single crochets at the moment, and then we're going to insert our hook into the first chain of the bag strap. So like that. And we're going to single crochet along the bag strap now. So inserting my hook into each of the chains we've done and working that single crochet. It looks a bit messy right now, but I promise you it'll look really pretty once it's all done. We just continue working along. Look how pretty. So we've started with our single crochet on the base of our bag here, and we're just continuing on with a single crochet all along the bag strap. So however many chains you've done, and so for me that's 115, and then I'm going to meet you after we have done the single crochets along the bag strap. I have worked the single crochet all along the bag strap, and then we're going to continue on working it along the top body of the bag, and we're going to slip stitch onto the first single crochet to end it this side for the back strap. So I'm going to do it with you a few times, so see how we're still working on the back strap. So I'm going to continue on with the single crochet, and then we're just going to work onto the bag now from single crocheting along the straps. Not only does this make it look really pretty, but it gives us that extra security that the strap is attached nicely onto the bag. So we will continue on. So this is where we've done the bag strap. I'm just continuing on like this. You can see I've worked the single crochet from where we've started here all along the bag strap and along the top body of the bag. And now we are back to where we started. And so to end, we are going to do a slip stitch on top of that first single crochet, which is where we have our stitch marker, which we can remove. Now I'm going to insert my hook and pull through again. We can chain 1, grab our scissors and cut our yarn and weave through. So that is one side of the pink done on our bag strap. And we're going to go ahead and do it on the other side as well. Grabbing out our pink yarn. And again, I'm going to start about 3 single crochets from when the bag strap starts. I'm going to grab my yarn. Oh, know what's happening there. Okay, try again. So about 3 single crochets from the bag strap. Grab our yarn and pull up a loop, chain 1, and again this doesn't count as a stitch, so I'm going to do a single crochet in that same stitch. We'll grab out our stitch marker to mark it, and then we'll work alongside. So first single crochet along the top of the bag, single crochet along the top of the bag, and then continue on up along the bag strap. So this might be a little bit harder to see, but essentially we're just working on the underlying chains, so you can still single crochet into it. Right, so you can see we've started on the body of the bag and now we're working up along the bag strap. We are going to continue with the single crochet all along this other side of the bag strap, and again I'll meet you when we are done. We have crocheted along the other side of the bag strap and we're going to keep going on top of the body of the bag. Now as we work on the single crochet on the top of the bag, I'm going to also bury these tail ends of our yarn, so I'm going to crochet over it. So back onto the body of the bag, I'm going to insert my hook, just do our single crochet, but you can just see that I am crocheting over the tail ends of the yarn, and that just really helps it look a little bit neater but also more secure too. Right. Then we'll keep going. And I'm going to repeat until we have reached the stitch marker. When we have worked the single crochet all along the top of the bag, we are back to where we've started, where we've used the stitch marker to mark our first stitch. We can take that out, insert our hook into that first single crochet and do our slip stitch, chain one, leave some yarn left for us to weave through, and there we have it. Guys, we are almost finished with our bag. Next we are going to create the drawstring that wraps around our bag. To start, we create a slip knot, so twisting our yarn to form a loop and grab the tail end of the yarn to pull through, insert our hook and pull tight. So for me to wrap around our bag, I need a length of 76 centimeters. So I'm going to chain that length. To start, that's one chain. After we have chained the length that we need for our drawstring, we're going to grab out our scissors, cut our yarn and pull through. And just for size reference, the entire length of the drawstring is 76 centimeters. After we have chained our drawstring, we're going to weave it through. So use a crochet hook if you like. We are going to start weaving from the center. So I'll show you what I mean. To weave the drawstring from the middle of the bag as we lay the bag flat, just at the front here. We're going to do it in an over or under over motion alongside the mesh pattern. And I'm going to keep going around the bag. all the way around. And there we have it. We have weaved the drawstring all the way around, and you can see we're back to where we've started. We are now up to the very last part. All we have to do is now weave in our ends. And I'm going to just weave them through as many stitches as I can. Underneath all the single crochets. And you can see, just going to keep going. I really want it to be nice and secure so it doesn't undo any of our hard work. And once we are happy that we've gone through enough stitches, I just like to do a little bit of a knot. To go through. Just so that it's nice and secure. I'm going to do it one more time. You can't see, and that's it. We're going to just cut our yarn. And so we have weaved one end through. I'm just going to go ahead and do the same for all the other ones, and I'll meet you when we're done. Guys, look at what we have just made. I am so proud of us. I know this was a long tutorial, but thank you so much for sticking by. Most importantly, I really hope you enjoy using this new bag. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, especially if you'd like to see more beginner-friendly practical crochet projects. This really helps me keep creating these tutorials. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!